Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Have you ever given advice? What kind of advice have you been given yourself? Perhaps you are going through some issues in life or have a problem that needs to be solved. And in those times, you would give advice. Today, I'll be telling you about someone who gave advice. Not just any advice, but advice that was enveloped in prophetic character, in the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today, we'll be talking about someone from the Ottoman times. He was a scholar and he was a mentor to the Sultan. This person is Akshamsuddin. Now, Akshamseddin Muhammad was born in Damascus, and he grew up there, but at an early age, he traveled to Anatolia, which is present-day Turkey, with his father. By the time he was 7 years old, he memorized the Qur'an, and he began his Islamic studies. He studied fiqh, hadith, tafsir, and medicine. Akshamsuddin would come to the court of the then Sultan Murad II in Edirne. At the court, one day, one of the qadis, one of the chief judges of the Sultan, was very, very ill, and many people had gone to try and cure him. But the qadi remained ill, and it was Akshamsuddin who saw him and treated him, and very soon this qadi was cured of his illness. This then became the beginning of Akshamsuddin's relationship to the young prince Muhammad, who would later become Sultan Muhammad al-Fatih, the opener of Constantinople. This relationship began as a teacher-student relationship. Akshamsuddin would teach this young sultan many things, amongst them the traditional sciences, Qur'an, Arabic, Persian, as well as some other science as well, like medicine, mathematics, philosophy, and astronomy. Akshamsuddin also instilled inside this young sultan deep love and reverence for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Akshamsuddin would advise this young prince until he became the sultan at the age of 21 years old. Immediately, Sultan Muhammad began preparations for the opening of Constantinople, and Akshamsuddin was there the entire time, giving him spiritual advice. This saintly scholar was gifted with knowledge that indeed this Sultan Muhammad would be the one to open Constantinople, and he encouraged him. So when the army came in front of the city, it was Akshamsuddin who was their spiritual guide and advisor, reminding them of their duty towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When victory finally came, Sultan Muhammad often would say that he was very happy that Akshamsuddin was with him, and would call him the spiritual conqueror of Constantinople. Now, Akshamsuddin continued advising. He would advise the ruler to rule justly. And there were many times when Sultan Muhammad wanted to follow in Akshamsuddin's footsteps and become a scholar himself and take the path. But Akshamsuddin would remind him of his duty and his responsibility of leading the people with justice, leading the people with love. And indeed, Sultan Muhammad said, "We do not conquer lands, we conquer hearts." And these were some of the lessons and advices given to him by his teacher, Akshamsuddin. On the first Friday after the opening of Constantinople, Sheikh Akshamsuddin would give the entire army the khutbah, reminding them to continue giving in charity, and also reminding them to not harm and protect the innocent. This is the advice that he continues to give. Later, Akshamsaddin would teach in Zayrik Jami, one of the first masjids in Istanbul. And also, this was one of the first madrasas, the first schools in Istanbul. He would teach there. Until a few years later, he would return back to a small city outside of Istanbul. And this is where Akshamsuddin would breathe his last. But before he passed, he gave advice to his sons. He told them, "We come into this life bare, without any possessions. And when we leave bare, without any possessions. Therefore, give all of my belongings to the needy. Give all of it away in sadaqah." And they duly responded and adhered to his wishes. This is the final advice of Sheikh Akshamsuddin. Now we can see in his life that he was a person who gave advice. And another saying that was attributed to him was that the wali, the friend of Allah, the protector, is a person who takes on the responsibility of taking the worries of the people. And they do not complain, nor do they refuse. Just like the earth receives trash and waste, and yet at the same time produces beautiful, delicious vegetation and fruits for the people to use. So you can see in the life of Sheikh Akshamsuddin, it was a life of good character, of morality, and of giving sound, sincere advice. So the next time someone comes to you and asks you for advice, remember the life of Sheikh Akshamsuddin and the way that he would give advice to those who he loved and those who came to him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.